Hey, what's going on? This is 316. Welcome to another episode of The Purge. Yes, it's The Purge. Um, I'm glad to be on here today. We got a lot to talk about. I'm very occupied. Um, I got so much that I got going on, rebuilding my studio still, as I've been doing for the past month. And it's almost finished, it's almost there. I'm still working on music. I'm testing out this new mic that I'm talking to y'all on right now, so I'm testing that out. I know I gotta get that beeping noise out the background sooner or later, but bear with me. It's a work in progress for everything, and I know it's a simple fix, but you know how that goes. Today's episode is gonna be it's easier to do bad than to do good. I'm gonna say it again. It is easier to do bad than to do good. And the reason why it's easier to do bad than to do good is because you have no conscious of what you're doing. Um, People make excuses for themselves why they are in certain positions and why they're not progressing in life, why they're not progressing in faith, why they not progressing in marriage, why they not progressing in finances. And it's because it's easier to do bad than to do good. For example, these PPP loans and these stimulus checks has spoiled the most definitely the urban neighborhoods and the urban communities, because a lot of people haven't seen, you know, that amount of money given to them, and they don't know what to do with themselves. So they overspending, taking trips, doing all the necessities and going to all the festivities as much as they can, because they know that this is going to run out. So they might as well have their fun now. This is a good word. I'm going somewhere with this. They rather have their fun now than to um, stock up and save later. That goes to the situation in the scriptures where, um, let's just say, the boss gave men certain talents, and he expected these talents to come back with more talents. You know, um, One man out of the whole bunch didn't use his talent. He buried it. He saved it. Um, and that's a good word, because if you use your talents in the wrong way, if you use what God give you in the wrong way, and you come back with nothing, then it's no use for you to even get that again until you learn how to use your talents, how to um, use your finances in the correct way. You don't use your finances, especially you getting these finances for free right now. None of let's be honest. A lot of you people don't deserve what y'all have in your pockets right now. A lot of you haven't done anything to deserve what you have in your pocket right now. So for you to go out and act like you got it like that and that you deserve this type of life is a hypocrisy in itself. A lot of you don't have cars. A lot of you don't even pay your car notes. A lot of you have I mean, terrible bad credit. A lot of you is not saved. Yes, I'm gonna put it out there. Is not saved, but yet y'all still wind up getting the fruits of the world, and y'all enjoying yourselves. And I hope you do enjoy yourself. Do it to your best ability, because the torment is gonna be much greater if you don't use what the Lord give you the right way. So that's why it's easier to do bad than to do good, because you have no conscience and you don't care. And when you have that consciousness of not caring, you wind off and do things that you ain't supposed to be doing. That's why purging brings restoration and brings you back to your first works, which is love, which you loved, including your gifts. My bad. I'm tongue tied right now. I'm reading right now. But I'm gonna say it again. That's why this episode, purging. That's why I'm doing this whole layout on purge, because it brings restoration and brings you back to your first works, which you loved, including your gifts. And that's why I'm building back up my studio. That's why I'm getting back into the things that got me to where I'm at right now. It's my gifts. And the Lord giving me those gifts and me using those gifts in the wrong way made me have a setback. And when I had that setback, I had a step back and I had to observe what was going on in my life, which brings me back to my first works, because this is what I love doing. The Lord's work is what I love doing. When I first got into the scriptures, I was researching, observing, doing everything, on fire, doing the first works, on fire, The Lord told me go back to those first works. Don't do anything extra. He'll add on to what I'm already doing. But I'm not to add unto what I'm doing. I'm a vessel. I'm his vessel. I'm a vessel of his. And his glory shall shine, not mine. And I had to be resetted. I had to be purged. And that goes for many things in my life, in many ways. I'm rambling right now. My bad. But what I'm saying is the scriptures tell you to go back to your first works. Go back to your first loves. Whether that's doing computers, if you was on fire doing preaching, get your butt over here. If you was on fire preaching, if you was ministering, if you was doing hair, if you were doing beats, go back to those gifts that God gave you ain't for nothing. Those gifts from God don't mean nothing. You have those gifts for a reason, and some people use those gifts for the wrong reasons. And I got this puppy in here running around, and they use their gifts unwisely. Enough of that. Summer madness. It's going to be summer madness. And the reason why it's going to be summer madness is already hot. The restrictions is lifted. The vaccines are been applied. And people are coming outside and gathering together, not knowing that this coronavirus supposedly, allegedly, is still lingering around. And at any given moment, they can turn it right back on. And we're right back in the same situation. Y'all got to be careful, people. I don't understand why y'all move as the government move. But y'all keep running. Y'all keep doing that. And then the scripture says the blind lead the blind and they both fall in the ditch. That's what's happening. The blind is leading the blind. And eventually they both is going to fall in the ditch. So we're going to start with a few videos. This first video is going to be a shootout in Brownswick, I think New York, as you will see. And these shootouts that's been occurring lately, it has been really been troubling to hear, because it seems like people are getting worse. Like, it's like, no matter like how many, don't matter how much people get in life. It doesn't matter how much people progress in life. they still have this spirit of anger. They still have this spirit of get back. They still have this spirit of covetousness. They still have this spirit of wantonness. And the thing that's happening today is people are getting what they want whenever they want and don't know how to control themselves. And some of them want more and don't know how to act. First of all, I don't know why I'm getting into all this, but I'm gonna go back to the Brunswick shooting. The Brunswick shooting. First of all, in this video, it's just madness. Like, first of all, why is everybody outside that has a gun? Like, why do everybody outside have a gun? Why? Let's roll the video. I'm gonna stop rambling.
I'm Bill Ritter. We do talk a lot about gun insanity here on Eyewitness News these days, and tragically, it was on full display across New York City yesterday. 9 shootings on Memorial Day. 9 shootings, a total of 15 victims.
7 of those shootings happened in a span of just 6 hours between 4:45 in the afternoon and 10:40 at night. And there was gun violence in all 5 boroughs. One person, a 15-year-old, was killed.
We'll say that again. A 15-year-old was killed. In one of those shootings, 5 people were hurt. This exclusive video, that shootout in the Bushwick section of Brooklyn. Eyewitness News reporter N.J. Burkett obtaining this video, and he joins us live at the scene now. Newt?
Right, Bill, Mayor de Blasio told me today that he can feel it in his bones. The city of New York is turning around. But try telling that to the people of Bushwick, Brooklyn, or the people in Queens, Manhattan, the Bronx, or Staten Island. Yes, there were shootings last night in all of those places. 5 people shot here on this street corner alone.
I wasn't here, so I'm glad I wasn't here.
Neighbors know how lucky they were. It was just before 8 p.m. 2 groups of young men are standing outside the neighborhood bodega. Suddenly, one of them opens fire, and it's pandemonium. 5 will be hit with gunshots to the chest and back, in the arms and legs. Amazingly, no bystanders were wounded, but it was only one of several shootings last night. In just 6 hours, there were 7 shootings with 13 victims. One of them, a 15-year-old in Harlem, was killed.
Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I don't understand it. Why do everybody outside have a gun? Why is everybody sitting outside on the corner? Why? I mean, I don't understand what is going on out there. What caused the commotion? What caused the shooting? Why is y'all outside with guns? Y'all supposed to have money in your pocket, going out, going shopping, being with your mom or your dad. If y'all in that age range, y'all should be doing something with working. Matter of fact, forget all that. Working. If y'all young men, y'all should be working. Y'all outside the corner with guns in your pocket. Why? I mean, what, to me, the mindset. You go outside with your gun in your pocket. For what? Why do you have to carry a gun in your pocket? Going outside just to go outside to sit on the corner store at the corner store. Keep your butt in the house. You know it's drama outside. You know they shooting outside. You know it's getting hot out there. You know people getting robbed. And y'all in New York and y'all getting the business. And I'm sorry if I said the name wrong. It was Bushwick. But look at all them shootings in that time span. And a 15-year-old lost their life. We have another video to show. 2 killed, 20 injured in a mass shooting. Let's roll the tape.
Good morning. Earlier this evening, this billiard establishment was rented out for a concert. During the concert, patrons were standing outside of the business when a white SUV pulled up, where 3 subjects stepped out of the vehicle with assault rifles and handguns and began shooting indiscriminately into the crowd, of which we believe is a targeted act of gun violence. Unfortunately, multiple people were shot. As of right now, we have 20 to 25 victims at various hospitals around the community, as well as 2 deceased victims on the scene. This is a despicable act of gun violence, a cowardly act. We have our investigators on the scene. We're asking for any information from the community. Anyone who has any tips on these individuals, please give it to us. 305-471-TIPS. This type of gun violence has to stop. Every weekend it's the same thing. This is targeted. This is definitely not random. My condolences to the families and to the victims. That's all I have right now. As we get more information, we'll provide it for you.
People pulling up at parties, people pulling up at churches, people pulling up everywhere, just shooting in crowds, just shooting. I mean, I never can understand the life of me why you do that. If you hate people that much, if you hate the world that much, God forbid, but take your own self out. If you don't want to be here no more, and you don't want to serve the Lord, and you don't go killing everybody because you're angry. I'm sorry if it sounds facetious. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm not taking it serious. But people have families out here. People want to go home at the end of the day. People getting shot over nonsense. Senseless crimes that can be easily avoided. It's a spirit that's going on out here. And it seems like it's easier to do bad, than to do good. It's easier to do bad. Instead of just going out, handling your own business, instead of turning your face to the Lord, you turn your face to things that has dead works. These shootings are dead works. I'm just saying, man. And the word they say, well, we have to pray for them. We have to do that. No, they have to be convicted. We can pray for them, yes. But the conviction come after. The conviction will have to come after that. These people need strong conviction. That's why preaching needs to be strong. This lovey-dovey preaching has never worked, and is not going to work. It's not going to work for these hard-headed people. It's not going to work for people that just given up on life. I want to be positive. I want to be lovey, but it's hard to do that when you see the hypocrisy that's going on in this world. When you see the evil that is going on in this world, you can't help but to see this, to talk about what the Lord talks about. It even explains it in Scripture. I'm in Romans right now. The first chapter. The first chapter gives you the business. It sets it off. And this is what's going on today. We're going to go into another video. I'm just showing y'all. See, my purpose of showing videos and stuff like this is to show you I'm not crazy. Am I crazy for talking about stuff like this? Am I crazy for pointing out the wrong that's going on out here? Or is it that these people need help? There needs to be a purge and a restoration. I'm going to say that one more time. There needs to be a purge and a restoration. Order needs to be set in the house of the Lord. Let's roll the next video. Okay, we're going to roll this next video. I'm going to do commentary over this. Now, you see the guys come out the car, right? They're still in a Cadillac converter, all right? So this is what I'm talking about, the hypocrisy, right? Watch the hypocrisy in this whole video. So now they under somebody else's car, taking a Cadillac converter, okay? Let's just watch the video. Because this is what people do. But then the news will spin it and say something else. But you have agitators all over the place. Now, you see the guy right here. The guy's coming out. They see that 4 of them, by the way, come out and see what's going on. They start chasing the guys and what have you. Right? Now, I think their tactic was wrong because they had no guns. As you see, you have a guy with a gun. And the reason why he was shooting at them is because they stole his drill, and he went to go get his drill back. See the hypocrisy? See the hypocrisy? And this is what I'm talking about. Nonsense. Let's stop this video. So this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. Next video, we're going to keep it moving. Black Lives Matter leader Patrice Cullors, yours truly, she has stepped down. And another brother has stepped down. I don't know what state he was. I think, was it in California? I'm not sure. It's a brother in California. He stepped down. I got a video with that. I might add that to this clip. But he stepped down also. And we're going to show a clip of that. But Patricia Cullors, yours truly, the one that, she's a lesbian. She's part witch. And this is what they practice. Now, allegedly, she's a lesbian and she's a witch. Allegedly. But I know that they're led by lesbians and witches and being paid by George Soros, just as Antifa and all these other social political groups. They're just the same as them. That's why you have people like Tamika Mowry and Myson. They're getting money just like Patrice Cullors, after collecting all this bread, after getting all these endorsements, houses, cars, and everything. Now you decide you want to step down at a time like this where black people are still getting shot dead, where we're killing off each other in the hood like it's nobody else's business. And you want to step down and you want to try to make it seem like, well, you trying to give somebody else a chance. No. I'm not going for that. You got enough bread. You feel like you comfortable now. You want to relax. That's the problem. You was a sellout. That's the problem. Yes, you was a sellout. Now, the initial cause might have been genuine, but I believe that, once you get into this political world and you deal with the higher ups, you have to abide by their rules and their regulations. So I believe that your first initial was to help, but by your religion, by the way who leads it, like, is lesbians and witches. Like, how can I sit there and say, well, I'm gonna turn to y'all people for help? It's impossible. I don't care what y'all do. I don't care if y'all change the world. The Bible says that Satan can transform into an angel of light, meaning he can make anything look good. So you can be a worker of Satan, for I know, allegedly, right? But the fact that you're stepping down right now during a time like this tells me this is the reason why I never trusted Black Lives Matter. Y'all disloyal, y'all dishonest, and y'all don't help the black community. Y'all don't help build the black families. Y'all don't believe in order because y'all believe in LGBTQ. So if you believe in LGBTQ and you're a socialist and you believe all these other things, how can you fit the Lord Savior Jesus Christ in that category? And even if you did, everything else gonna have to be moved out the way. That's why I don't like social groups. Because it depends on it's your belief system. I don't care what the cause is. It's the belief system. There it is. So let's roll the story. about, and let Patrice Cullors explain why she don't want to. Okay, why she's stepping down. Let's roll the footage.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be here. And yes, you read it right. Today I am going to be talking about me transitioning out of Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. I know. I couldn't have told you that when I started Black Lives Matter with Alicia and Opal, how it would change and transform not just my life, but millions of Black people across the globe. 2013, huge and important year. It's the year that George Zimmerman was acquitted of the murder of Trayvon Martin. As a young Black activist, I wanted to fight back. I wanted to change the culture that looked at Black people as second-class citizens, as subhuman. And then we started an organization. And for over 7.5 years, I was in the day-to-day of that organization, working with our chapters, working alongside elected officials, challenging the police. And at the end of 2019, many of you don't know this, I actually stepped back. I didn't make a public announcement. I really wanted to see the next generation of leadership lead. And when the uprising happened last year, folks inside of Black Lives Matter asked me to come back. And I had to really think about it. Like, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of responsibility. I love the work. And so yes, I came back and I've been here, and it was always supposed to be interim. And so now is my time. I was trained as a community organizer to always allow for other people to lead. This work is not about one individual person. This work is about all of us. Listen.
All right, that's enough. I didn't want to hear no more. But as you see, there's no real reason why she wants to step down. She gave y'all a nice little explanation. Yeah, she want the next one to be up. Yeah, but as far as I can remember, a person that's on their job, their mission never stops until the mission is complete. The mission never stops until the mission is complete. That's why a pastor have no business saying I retire. Retire from what? How do you retire from doing the Lord's work? I don't care if you're 90 and unless you can't speak at all, you need to be on that pulpit giving the word or teaching these younger people, the word of the Lord and how to preach. You should have some young men under you. Anyway, but you see, I don't know what to say. Isn't it? Well, what can I say, right? But yet, y'all got all this money. Y'all got endorsements. Y'all got everything. And y'all and what y'all do, what these Black activists do, is they just go off of their fame, off that little 15 minutes of fame. Once you get that 15 minutes of fame, you got to use the best of it. And that's what they're doing. They're using the best of it. Sooner or later, Tamika Mowry and my son, they're not going to be in the picture no more. It's going to be somebody new. They're going to have to go through a ritual or some type of humility ritual, as most planted people are. Which most planted people go through, And like I said, there was another brother that said he was going to step down. So the hypocrisy in Black Lives Matter is being shown all over the place. And I just pray that people come back to Bible. Come back to Bible. People don't want to hear the truth, because it's easier to do bad than to do good. Because if Patrice Cullors would have did it the other way, let's just say she didn't do Black Lives Matter, and well, maybe she did do Black Lives Matter, but what if it was geared towards the community, to build the community, to put things in order, to get families back together, to get men to raise their children, to get women to trust men again, right? And you will have to be an example of that. You can't be an example of that if you're a lesbian, if you're practicing idol worship or witchcraft. You can't do it. So that's the end of that. Next topic we'll talk about is Gay Pride is coming up. And you know the foolishness behind that nonsense. And it amazes me how they allow this group to just do whatever, and we have to articulate according to their gender, and we have to not be too harsh on them because they're equal just like us. Once you break God's order, you're no longer equal. Yeah, we're equal. Men or women are equal by choice. What I mean by choice is men and women are equal by free will. They have free will to make a choice. We're not equal as in gender because outside we have different body parts. Our physique is different. Men are more masculine, females are more feminine and sensitive and delicate for the most part. And we're not equal. There is an order that God has. God, Christ, man, woman, children in the story. I can care less about you saying, well, God is love and God love everybody. Yes, he do. But God hates abominations also. See, that's the other part that y'all must have missed. Y'all preacher must didn't teach y'all that God hates these abominations. And if you knew the origins of these practices and these ways, a lot of you people wouldn't be gay. A lot of you people wasn't gay. A lot of you people were straight as a pole. A spirit got in y'all. A spirit got in y'all. Y'all can make the argument that y'all was born that way. A lot of people was born a lot of ways. It's the fact of overcoming. Once you get the truth of the matter, it's your responsibility to overcome it. So just to use an excuse, well, I was born this way, is not an excuse. God doesn't make people that way. You choose to be that way. And it may not be your fault. It may have been your surroundings. A male may have been around females all his life. But that doesn't mean that he's supposed to be gay. That doesn't give him an excuse to be gay. Maybe this child was molested by females. This little girl was molested by females at a young age. Maybe. But this is not an excuse to stay that way and use that as an excuse why you have all this sin in you. God calls these works abominations. And if you're still in these abominations, by the time the Lord get off that mercy seat, you're not going to survive in his presence at all. Transgenderism has been going on for years. This ain't nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun, people. This been going on for years. Rome, the Greeks, they're known for doing this type of acts. Cross-dressing. Sexual orgies. This is our scripture. That's the crazy part about it. This is our scripture. And yes, We've been in, everybody been in it. But it's the fact that it's been pushed by the higher ups. And if you don't know who has their hand in the cookie jar, you'll never catch the thief. The Lord said, watch, observe all things. Not some things, not a little here, not a little there. He said all things. This gay pride that's coming up, man, I hope y'all people get it right one day. Because y'all day is coming. Y'all serve the Baphomet. Y'all serve the Baphomet. The transgendered God. Yeah, I said it. The Baphomet. The transgendered God. The one that has both male and female organs. That's what y'all serve. That's your spirit. There are many spirits that's in the world right now. And that's one of them. And if you've seen that symbol, it tells the whole story right there. It even points out all the religions right there that's connected with it. And that drawing was drew by somebody that had a vision of that. Just like Aleister Crowley had a vision of who his God looked like. It is what it is. So you can't tell me that there's not a spirit of this lust going on, this lasciviousness. These little boys are getting into it. I don't want my boys to dress or look like y'all. I don't want my girls to dress or look like y'all. I don't want none of. I don't want us to be like y'all. Period. I don't want to be of the world. I don't like the world. I don't love the world. I love God and I love His rules. That's why I'm so against it. Yes, because if you love the world, you are separated from God, and you can love the world in many ways. You don't have to say you love the world. It's your actions that tells how you love the world. And this pride is an abomination, and God hates pride because Satan had a lot of pride. And y'all serve the transgender God, Baphomet. So good luck and God bless. But what I would say is come back to Bible. On to the next topic.
People here in Connecticut have been hospitalized with an inflammatory heart condition possibly linked to the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. This morning, NBC Connecticut's Jennifer Joe spoke with parents, including one whose child was diagnosed with the condition.
The Department of Public Health says there are 18 reported cases right here in Connecticut. The first case at Connecticut Children's was Rachel Hatton's 17-year-old son, Gregory.
It's terrifying.
Rachel told us over the phone this morning that her son started complaining of severe chest pain 3 days after his second dose. It worsened on the fourth day and led to back pain. So Gregory went to a walk-in clinic where they ran blood work and did an x-ray. They discovered he had pericarditis, an inflammation of the lining outside the heart. A spokesperson from Connecticut Children's says patients have presented with both pericarditis and myocarditis, which is the inflammation of the heart muscle. Gregory was transferred to St. Mary's Hospital in Waterbury and then to Connecticut Children's in Hartford.
They hooked him up to a heart monitor, did EKGs, they did echocardiograms. Infectious disease actually came and ran their own set of blood work. They tested him for all sorts of things. And one by one, those tests came back negative.
Doctors still couldn't say if his condition was related to the COVID vaccine, but they called him back for an MRI after 2 more patients presented with similar symptoms. Gregory is now out of work, on medication, and hooked up to a heart monitor. Doctors are planning to do another MRI in June to see if his condition improves.
I get nervous because I just don't know what else could happen. You know, he basically has a heart condition now, and it's terrifying.
We spoke with other parents of teens who received their first dose of the vaccine and are scheduled to get their second.
I can't believe that the government would put out a shot that would really negatively impact the health of my child.
I'm just trusting the science.
But others are still holding off.
They are still growing.
It's one thing for me to get the vaccine, but for my child to get the vaccine, it's kind of scary not knowing what's going to happen.
Rachel says she's sharing her son's story, and she wants parents to be aware because the condition doesn't feel rare when it's affecting your own child.
I'm not trying to deter people from getting the vaccine. My son, if you spoke with him right now, he would tell you to still get it. Me, being his mom, I'm definitely, I don't know, I'm kind of torn. Now they want to give this vaccine to younger.
That's enough. There you have it, man. And people are mocking these vaccines, right? Telling some, well, I got it, and I ain't getting nothing yet. You know, I don't have an extra arm growing. I don't have an extra leg growing. Y'all keep mocking these vaccines, and not understanding that these vaccines hasn't been thoroughly tested. So that's just one of many stories. We have another one. CDC looking into a possible link between heart problems and COVID vaccines in young people. Let's see. Let's see if we can hear this. I want to put video, but
we are defined by algorithms.
I want to put video, but I can't get this quick enough, and I gotta deal with these stupid advertisements. But I want y'all to hear this. Not from me. I like truth. So let's see what's going on. Why this not on yet? Oh, they turned it off. Wait a minute. Don't tell me they muted it? So I won't listen? Come on. What is this? What is this? This crazy. How am I supposed to listen to it if I can't hear it? Wow. That's what y'all do? Wow, that's what y'all do? Okay. But anyway, these vaccines are being linked to younger people having heart conditions. Doctors offer reassurance Tuesday following several dozen reports of mostly mild heart problems after COVID-19 vaccinations, but suggested recipients of their families pay close attention to possible symptoms such as chest pain and shortness of breath. It remains unclear whether the vaccine is the cause of the heart problem called myocarditis. Last week, the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention's vaccine safety group said it was looking into relatively few reports of the condition in vaccinated individuals, primarily teenagers and young adults. There you have it, and that's all the proof that you need. But that's crazy. They didn't want to let me. They didn't want y'all to hear that. So it's all good. In a little lighter news, I found this interesting. This couple retired in their 30s. Now they live off their grid. They live off the grid and spend $40,000 a year. Let me see. Let me read this because I did want to play the audio, but it was too much going on, and I don't feel like configuring and all that and putting it in the video. Just too much. We already like almost 45 minutes in. I'm about to close this out real shortly. Thanks for y'all that's been tuning in. This story is part of CNBC Make Its Millennial Money series, which details how people around the world earn and spend their money and save it. Steve Adcock wakes up 6 a.m. every day. He starts his morning with a workout with his home gym before settling down at his desk to check emails, browse social media. By 10, when most Americans, other 39-year-olds, have logged on for work, he's getting ready to take his dog for a walk around his desert property in Pierce, Arizona. It's a tried and true routine for Adcock, who has been retired for 5 years. Adcock didn't always have such a relaxed life. He spent 14 years working in information technology, a career that pays well, but tends to drain the life out of you, he tells CNBC. Make it. After more than a decade of work, he realized it was time for a switch. In his 30s, he came to a realization he couldn't just spend the rest of his life sitting in front of a computer, working 10 to 12 hours a day, writing computer code and fixing problems. He says, I just couldn't do that. So him and his wife ultimately just saved up enough money, just to bring it down, save up enough money to $70,000, and let me see. Well, their combined net worth was $870,000. Okay. So they saved up a lot of money, and now they live off their savings, which is a good idea. But see, most people don't know how to do that because people rather spend money, work, and spend money. That's why you have to spend money that's why you got to work, because you spend money. That's why I said, like, I don't understand how people be millionaires, billionaires, and just can't just say, you know what, the heck with it, I'm done. Because honestly, if you start a person's life off with $20 million, a person not going to spend $20 million in their lifetime. They just not. They just not going to spend $20 million in their lifetime. I don't think it's possible. Maybe it is. I mean, to be broke by the end of your life, I think it's impossible if you do it right. If you work and get $20,000, $20 million, and you just work a regular job, you'll never be broke. You'll never be broke. But maybe I'm wrong. This ties into what I'm about to go into, right? So you got these people you got people out there that save money, put in their bank account, they're about 30, 40, and they live. I think that's a good idea. If you give a person, if you give me 5 million, 2 million, 3, anywhere in that range, I'll never have to worry again. All you gotta do is spend according to your life. You don't have to have a $10 million home. You can live off the grid. You can live somewhere and live somewhere cheap. You could, but people gotta flex. They gotta have an Instagram and they have to flex. Social media is a killer, man. It's a motivation killer, really, because people get motivated for the wrong reasons. And I think people that save their money and use their money the right way will be better off. But those that just spend useless money on things that doesn't mean anything, or not pertaining to their business, or not pertaining to their home, is ridiculous. The frustration in the work world. Many jobs are hiring due to the fact that employees drop their jobs because they're getting these free grants, these free monies. One report, let me see. All right, so a shop. Let me see if I can get this to cooperate. And maybe it's not, because if it has ads, I don't feel like dealing with it. And it probably has ads. But let me get into it real quick. A lot of employees are dropping like flies because they're just getting too much money from the government. People talking about respirations and restorations, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the heck. Reparations. And people are getting it. Whether you believe it or not, you're getting it. You're getting all the tax money that you spent over the years. You're getting some of that back. A lot of you getting some of that back. And y'all gets it and y'all spend it and y'all drop your jobs just because a little bit of cash came in. Y'all get 10 bands. I seen people before this COVID hit, I seen people get 10 bands and quit their job. 10 bands and they quit their job. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I seen people give up a whole career for a year's pay. It's ridiculous. Okay, so here's Claire. Okay. Claire's employees at Jordan Creek Mall has posted handwritten signs of frustration. Retail workers are tired. We are closed due to the fact that Claire's does not pay or appreciate their employees enough. One of these signs reads, "We are tired of it." And employees in retail, entertainment, and food services across the country have been policing customers to adhere to health and safety guidelines due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's go down. So this one right here is specifically talking about they're not getting paid. You know why they feel as though they're not getting paid? Because they got free monies. They know what real money feels like, and they feel as though they've been working there for 20, 30 years, and all of a sudden, you people want to quit your jobs because you're not getting paid enough. Nah, that's nonsense. You got a couple dollars. Say it. You got a couple dollars, and now you feel it. You got the taste of some real money. Now you want some real money. Now you gonna go after the money that you've been missing out on your whole life. But yet, see me, I stopped being an employee of people years ago, right? I decided that I'm going to work for myself. I refuse to work for somebody else unless I have to. And if I do work for somebody else, I'm under contract. I'm a contractor, right? So that's how I look at myself. I'm a contractor. I don't work under no organization, no corporation. I work for myself, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Actually, that's the way it was. You worked for yourself back in those days in the scriptures. You work for yourself. You work for yourself. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they had jobs and stuff, but majority of the time you're working for yourself, right? And when you do work for yourself back in those days, it didn't really apply to money. It really applied to you going out harvesting your own crops, making sure your own farm was good. But anyway, we're almost an hour in, man. This has been a good talk. So the frustration from that is just due to people getting real money now, and they feel as though they're getting disrespected all of a sudden because they're getting a couple dollars. In other news, you have 215 bodies found at a school site. Canada requests flags lowered. The remains of 215 children, some as young as 3 years old, were found buried in the site of what was once Canada's largest indigenous residential school, meaning it was colored and mixed, right? Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau asked Sunday that flags at all federal buildings be flown at half staff to honor more than 200 children whose remains have been found buried at what was once Canada's largest indigenous residential school, one of the institutions that held children taken from families across the nation. My question is, why? Why? Can you say sacrifices? 200 children found at a school. Remains. Not bodies, but remains. It's sad. Last one of the day, just on some other news, I found this a little interesting. Warrant for brave slugger Azuna threatened to kill his wife as they argue over alleged affairs. Arrest warrants for Marcel Ozuna were released Tuesday at 11 alive following an open records request revealing that the Atlanta Braves outfielder and his wife were arguing over an affair when he repeatedly hit her and threatened to kill her. According to the warrants, the domestic violence dispute began when Ozuna took his wife's cell phones from the bathroom without her knowing and wouldn't return them. She then took his cell phone and dialed 911. The warrant stated Ozuna went outside of the home and his wife chased him around the car and threw a garden light at him, but missed, attempting to get the cell phones back. According to the warrants, she then went inside the home and locked the door. Ozuna returned and entered the home from through the garage door and went into the kitchen where his wife grabbed a large knife from the drawer. Ozuna later clarified that his wife wasn't pointing, that the knife wasn't pointed at him. He continued to yell at her while she held the knife by her hip. She told him if he got closer, she was going to hurt him, the warrant stated. They continued to argue over cell phones, the warrant said, that when Ozuna repeatedly hit her in the back of her hands with the cell phone, pushed her and smashed her face into the wall, and then she fell to the floor as they were fighting over the cell phones. The warrant said that the victim was on the floor. Ozuna wrapped his fingers around her throat after, according to the officers, they arrived and saw Ozuna grabbing the victim by the neck and throwing her against the wall. Bam, you're done. They're not going to go for that. You're dark. I don't know if he's Puerto Rican or black, Puerto Rican, Afro, however y'all like to, place it. But that's the end of him. And he's going to jail. I don't understand. Arguments over cell phones. Y'all grown people running around outside. She throwing lights at you. Y'all probably looked retarded as hell. Sit down. Up there, keep scratching me. Y'all look retarded as hell probably out there. So, yeah, that was my dog, man. She just be, she want to be grabbing and grabbing. She got her nails and they hurt, man. They hurt. But to end this story off, if somebody grabs your cell phone, first of all, I wouldn't even care if my wife grabbed my cell phone. I got nothing to hide. So if she grabbed my phone and looked through it, she ain't gonna find nothing, and so it won't be no reason for her to keep the phone. There you have it. If you got nothing to hide, there's no reason for you to chase after Mr. Ozuna if you don't have nothing to hide. Now, Mr. Ozuna, being a man and a grown man and the man of the house, you should carry yourself a little bit more better than that. If you suspect your wife for cheating or your girlfriend cheating or whatever the case may be, don't grab her phones. Females love their phones. Don't grab their phones. What's the point of you doing that? It's not going to stop her from cheating if she's cheating. So I think that's kind of childish. Why do people, when they get into arguments, like domestic arguments, when they suspect cheating or insecurities or whatever the case may be, why you grab the phone first? They still got Instagrams. They still got social media. I mean, what's the point of you doing all that? I mean, come on, y'all. What happened to sit down, talk it out? If he is going through something, work it out. Talk to the Lord. Bring it to the scriptures. But people don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. They rather do. There it is. It's easier to do bad rather than to do good. That's the end of Purge, y'all. It's been almost an hour in. We're an hour in. And I have other... I may not do a Purge this week because I have a topic that I want to touch on in the ministry. I think we're going to do once saved, always saved. And after that will be the Trinity, which is... I don't know. I may make that a movie. But we'll see. I got a lot going on. Like I said, y'all. I'm rebuilding, purging, bringing out the old, bringing in the new. Beats are going to be back up. Heavy bass productions, yes, it's going to be back up again. and we're gonna be doing this. We're gonna do this better this time around with the beats. So I got my hands on some stuff, and we about to work. So God bless everybody. Remember to keep God first. In Jesus Christ, we pray, and we all say, Amen.